Welcome to the Giants Huddle, front office edition, presented by Fordham University, an official higher education partner of the New York Giants. All right, Joe, great to see you. Thanks for taking the time. Exciting times right now for Giants fans and, of course, for the Giants organization. For you, a busy time with the trade deadline this week. How was that for you? Were you busy? Was it quiet? Were you hoping that it was going to be busier?
Yeah, no, it's the trade deadline. You know, it's a date where we can no longer trade, but we're constantly making calls around the league, whether it's August in the preseason, throughout the regular season. So it just, it's a culmination today at 3:59. You can no longer trade players, but we've been in constant communication with a lot of teams. So
yeah, well, you guys got ahead of the curve, obviously, with the Tony trade last week. Kind of getting ahead of the frenzy. But I'm just curious, in that position group, with the wide receiver group, trading Tony, you had some injuries with Shepard, obviously, with Galladay being hurt. Did you feel any added pressure to try to look at that one position group to see if you could add?
Yeah, we were looking at, when we make these phone calls, we were looking at all positions, receiver obviously being one of them. And if there was an opportunity where, a player became available and it made sense in terms of the value we place on the player and what was being asked, then yeah, we would have definitely pursued that if there was something available.
The last time that, you spoke to the national media, you were talking about managing expectations. And now here you are sitting at 6-2. How tough is it as a GM to sit there and say, wow, okay, we're 6-2. You know what? I didn't think I was going to have to make a move. But now that our record, and now that we're winning, how does that influence or change the way that you want to impact the team?
Yeah, I think, from the day I took the job, it was, hey, we're going to compete today and build for tomorrow. And it has to make sense. And again, part of my job, whether it's the draft, where you put a guy on the draft board, what you pay a free agent, if you trade for a player, like you have to assign a value. And several meetings with my staff on, where we saw some players that were available and what value we saw them at and what made sense in the short term and long term. And if that doesn't marry up, then, you don't want to shop hungry. And, I thought we took a good approach to this time of year, and, it just made sense. I'm ecstatic we're 6-2, and, I don't know if one player at any one position is gonna change things exponentially, but, I thought we had a sound process, and, it played out, the way it played out.
Yeah, 6-2, a lot of excitement, a lot of positives. One of those positives has been the play of Daniel Jones. I know before the season started, there was a lot of expectations, and everybody wanted to know how he was going to handle this new offense and this new system. How do you feel about the way he's played?
Yeah, I think Daniel's played well. I mean, it's 5 game-winning drives or fourth-quarter comebacks, through 8 games, which is impressive. So, I think Daniel's done a very good job. That's the toughest position to play in the NFL, next to center, probably, right? But, learning another system for him, getting comfortable with not only the coaching staff, but, again, there have been injuries at receiver, and it's a little bit been a revolving door. Now we have some injuries at tight end. So he's been a constant out there. He's been steady. He fought through the injury, was able to play against Green Bay, so he showed some toughness and, his leadership. So I'm pleased with where Daniel is and how he's been playing.
I feel like tough is a good description for this team. Guys are playing through a lot of things. Offensive line's banged up. DJ's playing through some injuries. Saquon's been playing a little banged up as well. What are your thoughts on him? You've seen him as an opponent, but now as one of your players, how do you feel like he's played this season? What are you surprised by?
Yeah, I think Saquon's done a really good job. I'm really not surprised by anything because he had an outstanding spring, and we played him when I was in Buffalo in 2019, and he was a game plan guy. When you go into play against him, like you got to pay attention to where 26 is. So, it showed toughness, battling through injuries throughout the year, which everybody has, but his leadership, he's a captain, and I've been really pleased with Saquon.
Let's talk about your rookie draft class. Obviously you draft rookies and you say, hey, look, we want you to contribute in some way, shape, or form. With Thibodeau going 5, Neal going 7, you knew those guys were going to be starters. But some of these other guys have really made an impact. Josh Ezeudu makes his first start up in Seattle. Micah McFadden gets his first sack. Talk about the class and all of the progress that they've made and the contribution they made to the team.
Yeah, I do a little rookie report. I've done it for a long time just based on draft classes. And right now we're 4th in rookie play time. Which is really good, and we're obviously having some positive results from those guys, and they're learning how to win. So I'm excited about the whole crew. Obviously, the injury bug, I think all of them have been injured at one point or another, except for one. But when Kayvon came back, it took him a couple weeks to get his feet back under him, but he's put together a good stretch. Evan's been steady. Wandell's coming back now. We're going to get him more involved. Ezeudu, again, he waited his turn. He starts off. You got to face Jeffrey Simmons week 1. Yeah. That can be a tough task for a 10-year vet, but didn't get down, kept competing, and his chance came and did a good job. And then Bellinger and Belton, both key contributors, one on defense, one on offense. And, Bellinger's been, probably one of the most improved players since we've got here. Like, true pro already, takes his craft seriously. And we're hoping to get him back soon. And then, Micah McFadden, special teams, playing defense. The best thing I could say about these guys is they're all our, culture guys. They're smart, tough, and dependable. Again, hopefully very good foundational pieces as we build from here.
As you're watching those young players and their development, they grow, you have to give credit to the coaching staff. How impressed have you been with this coaching staff to find ways to not just grow the players, but teach them how to win football games at the end of it in the fourth quarter with the game on the line?
Yeah, no, it's been, again, with the draft class, the ability, as I said earlier, to win games and get valuable experience playing games. As we're setting the foundation, learning to win is part of the deal. But the coaching staff's done a phenomenal job. We're constantly turning over the practice squad, even the active roster. We did a study earlier this week. We're leading the league with 12 players that weren't with us through August, and we signed September on. 12 players that played line of scrimmage snaps offensively or defensively, and that's an attestament to the coaching staff and their ability to stay late with these players, get them up to speed in terms of the offensive game plan or defensive game plan. And Fabian Moreau, Jalen Smith, guys like that weren't here that can go out and start for you and play meaningful snaps. That's important. Tyree Phillips is a guy that started for us at right tackle. We claimed him in early September from Baltimore. So that, along with second half adjustments, game plans, I think the coaching staff has done a great job, and again, a testament to Dayball and his hiring process. And whether it was a veteran coach like Wink or a younger coach like Kafka, I think identified really good candidates, and I think we're seeing the benefits of that now.
Let's go back to those 12 players you're talking about, because your job, obviously, all right, someone goes down, all right, I got to find somebody. Take us through that process. What do you lean on the most? Do you go back to film, or what if you have a guy that really you don't have a lot of film on? Do you contact the former teams, and how do you kind of whittle that whole down as far as who you're going to sign at that position of need?
Yeah, we're constantly looking, and it is a testament to Brandon Brown, Tim McDonald, Dennis Hickey, Chris Rossetti, the pro personnel department, identifying these guys, and they do a great job. They're my filter system. When the waiver comes out each night, they let me know if there's somebody I need to get my eyes on. And it started with our process that we had in place in the preseason. We had coverage on the 1,200 plus players that were all cut. We trimmed that down to players we liked. We claimed 4 or 5 players at the final cut down, and then that turns into our emergency list as injuries occur. Who can we get on other practice squads? Who becomes available that maybe we want to add to our practice squad? I think of our 17 practice squad guys, 7 guys were here in camp, so there's also 10 more new guys on our practice squad. That we've had to flex up as well. So, credit to my personnel department. They've done a great job identifying players and continue to turn the back end of the roster and the practice squad over so we can continue to elevate our depth and competition.
Yeah, I know they'll appreciate the shout out, your personnel squad.
They do a great job.
That's your glam squad behind the scenes.
Yeah.
You don't really have an official head of college scouting, correct? How has that worked out, and how much do you have to lean on those guys, and who's really leading the whole college draft aspect? Yeah,
so, Brandon Brown is the assistant GM. He's kind of over the pro and the college, as well as Tim McDonald, who's, director of player personnel. And then Dennis Hickey is kind of manning the college staff right now. He's on the road, weekly. He's in contact with all of our scouts. Again, same type of deal, filter the information up to me. We've got, top 10 lists that I get on a weekly basis by position, where the players are. So that kind of leads to where I go when I hit the road, who do I need to go see and who do I need to watch. So Dennis has done a great job. And then, I'll do a Zoom every other week with the college scouts, just make sure they're up to speed on what's going on with the roster. If they have any questions on why we're doing things or something that may have come up, just, I've been on the road before. You can kind of feel like you're out of sight, out of mind. I want to make sure they know they're a big part of what we're doing and keep them in the loop on how things are going on the roster.
All right, so let's peel back the curtain for fans a little bit, because they probably think, all right, you're the GM, so you got Saturday to chill, Sunday's the game. That's not the case at all. Like, what's your weekend like when you're traveling to go see some of these college games?
Yeah, so I'll try to do the film during the week. So, if I'm going to see, let's say Alabama, Tennessee, a couple weeks ago, I went to that game, and I went to Auburn, Mississippi the same day. So I'll try to do the film, throughout the week. So when I get to the game, I have a plan on who I'm looking at while I'm there. First off, do I need to be there before I make my schedule? And then once I'm there, what do I need to get out of it? So I'll identify the 5 to 10 players I need to look at. A lot of the pregame is a chance to get to see guys up physically. Do they look like an NFL player? Do they move like an NFL player? And then they always put us up in the press box to watch the game. So I'll do that. Again, I try to see, I get that top 10 list from the scouts on a weekly basis, and I'm chipping away at it. I'm not going to see everybody, but I'm going to have a good, probably fourth round and above. I'll have set eyes on those guys probably by, the end of the college season.
So you're having a chance to see them down on the field. Do you get a chance to interact with them at all, or is it just kind of, hey, just visually?
Yeah, usually just visually, especially at the big schools. Sometimes the area scouts, if you go through a Lenore-Ryan or a Fordham or one of the smaller schools, they may bring the kid in and you can have personal interaction. At the bigger schools, typically at an all-star game or the combine or a pro day is the first time you can really have a personal interaction with the players.
So when you're down there and you're watching some of these players, and you're obviously talking to the coaches as well, do you keep all this? Do you keep notes on all this stuff, and then as the draft comes and the combine and all that this is just like another layer of evaluating them?
Yeah, exactly. It's it's a constant evaluation from how they look in the fall on tape, how they look in person, how they do at an all-star game. Once you interview them, you can bring them in the building if you want on a 30 visit. So yeah, it's just you're continuing to add to the Rolodex of that player in terms of who they are as a player, person, and then your personal interactions.
Well, you mentioned Alabama. I think pretty much every year you could go to Alabama and you're going to find some good athletes. But aside from that, are there any other players that have really jumped out at you early on from next year's class?
Yeah. there's some players. I'm going to keep those in here though. But yeah, no, it's going to be a good draft. There's a couple positions that may be perceived needs for us and that are a little bit deeper. And again, we take all that into account as you're going to the trade deadline. We've talked about what does free agency look at these positions? What does the draft look like? So that goes into the set value. If you are going to trade for a player, you got to look at what's down the road. What's it going to look like in the off season, while also taking into account the 2022 season.
Yeah, I know you're looking forward, obviously, to the second half of the season, but certainly the offseason when you get to kind of keep working on the roster. I'm just curious, with the way the season has gone now, and you guys are 6-2, let's say you go on and make the playoffs, you're evaluating the players that are on this team already, guys that are maybe going to be free agents or are on one-year deals. Does the team's success impact the way that you assess them as a player at all, or is it strictly, hey, I'm just evaluating that player based on who he is and what he is, and I'm not letting the team's success or failure dictate whether they're coming back?
Yeah, that's correct. We're going to evaluate how they play, how they fit into the culture and what we're doing, leadership. All that stuff's going to be important as we evaluate those guys. And if there's a chance if they're going to be a UFA, maybe we get ahead of it and try to extend them before they're able to walk out the door or hit free agency. But culture fit, leadership, guys that are doing what we're asking them to do, all that stuff's going to play into it and be important.
All right, sounds good. Joe, really appreciate the time. Always great to see you.
All right, thanks for having me.